Howdy guys, Attorney Walter Hnot. This is the video. We're starting way late. Normally we're like 8:45ish when we actually get to the video where I answer questions live on the phone. This video I'm going to be trying to answer some questions in the chat section, which is to the right of me. It's kind of tiny and hard to see, but I'll be trying to go ahead and answer questions from there in between each phone call that we take. So maybe like one phone call, one question, stuff like that. Now, here are the rules. When you call in, use a fake name. We're just doing like a short thing, 5 to 7 minutes. Have your legal question ready. No story mode. We've got the first caller on the phone. Good sir, what is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Thomas. Here in Alabama, I was calling in regards to find out how soon could one be eligible for SSDI benefits for pulmonary sarcoidosis?
So like how speedy can they be is kind of the question.
Yes,
okay. So assuming that they're doing an adjudication, assuming that was submitted correctly, that the SSDI Title II claim was put in there correctly, assuming all of that, and assuming you filed the expedited request under the I-2-1-40. So again, grab a pencil real quick. I as an igloo -2-1-40. Again, I-2-1-40. Assuming all that was done correct, instead of it taking like, a couple of weeks, like it did back in 2018, you would expect maybe like 4 or 5 months to be more along the lines of a quick review. And the reason why is that it used to take like 3 to 6 months to get initial filing review. Now it takes like 15 to 16 months. So bottom line is that I would go with like 4-ish, 5-ish months with that. And I mean, remember, I can't see your medical records. So, gauging based off of that type of impairment, assuming it's severe to extreme in the impairment level, like 4 to 5 months, maybe a little bit sooner, maybe a little bit longer.
Okay.
No.
I'm suffering from I guess what they call end stage or stage 4.
Oh, then yeah.
On there.
Yeah. You want to write at the top of any document. I mean, honestly, what I would do is, I would go in and I would grab from the internet an SSA 795 and write in very bold letters. You're gonna have to put your name at the top, but then write in very bold letters in the writing area, specifically end stage, level 4, expedited analysis request under I-2-1-40. And that way they know to go ahead and say, okay, cool. You might want to put in or you might want to attach a copy of a medical document that shows that exact thing.
Okay. So what if I already have like an attorney working on my behalf? With that, I guess they would know what to do, because I just filed like 2 months ago.
So here's the problem. Most law firms that do disability law, they don't want quick wins. Just, when it comes to disability benefits, if you file somebody and they have no retroactive benefits, then the first 5 months from after they file and the month they're found disabled do not count for back pay purposes, which means that the attorney won't get paid unless they have a provision in their contract that says if there's no back pay, you owe them a certain amount of money from your forward pay or whatever pay, right? So the point is, most of these disability law firms out there that I see want the claim to go a little bit so that they can get paid something. So understanding that, situation, and remember, law firms can't afford to take a lot of SSI claimants anymore. I used to do that. We can't do it anymore. We literally would go out of business in a very short period of time if we just had a bunch of SSI people, because we'll do a claim for 3 years and the judge will just lop off a bunch of their back pay. And, granted, there's usually more issues. There's drug abuse problems. There's this problem, that problem, whatever. And then the judge uses that to move the alleged onset date forward. But the point is, law firms can't make it on SSI claims anymore. So, the bottom line is it's an SSDI game now. And so just understanding all of that, super important. You've really, really, really got to make sure that if you want this thing to be expedited, you need to send into the local field office that 795 with that I-2-1-40 subsection notification about expedited claim analysis.
Okay.
Perfect. Excellent, good sir. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
Hey, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, cool. So the first question in the chat section, Mark S. did a big $20 donation, which is absolutely amazing. Let me give a little heart to that. I applied for SSDI in November. I have a lawyer. They said I have a good chance based on my records. My question is, America is very unaffordable for me. Would me moving to Colombia hurt my chances? So here's the thing. Where this, I'm going to do the next call. Hold on, let me pull up the next call real quick. Hold on, hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. Just hang on the line real quick before we go into your call. I'm going to answer this question in the chat, and then I'll go right back to you, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so Mark said basically he's applying for SSDI. So we know he's not an SSI claimant that's living outside of the country. So we know that he can pretty much be outside of the country. And there's some restrictions, but most of them are not going to be problematic for him. Next thing we know from this is they filed in November. So normally a claim takes between 15 and 16 months for an adjudication at the initial filing level. So we're talking he's going to be outside of the country for a while. Next thing we know is that because he's been out of the country for basically 2 months and a little bit of January. Next thing we know is that Colombia, is one of those places where he'll be getting medical treatment. So when he goes to Colombia, his monthly medical treatment, his crisis-related medical treatment, emergency room visits, behavioral visits, whatever type of stuff he's doing, and his monthly, medication update, what's going on with the specialty. Specialty says this, cool, we'll do that. That stuff is all going to be from Colombia. Is Colombian medical evidence effective for disability claims? Kinda. I buy records from different countries. Puerto Rico, Mexico, South America, Virgin Islands, whether they're British or US, some from Germany, some from France, recently Spain. Point is, the medical evidence that comes from the United States is the closest to the United States standards of evaluation for mild, moderate, severe, and extreme. And in order to be found disabled, you need to be at least severe or marked, which is the same thing as severe. So when you go to Colombia, the big thing that's tricky, right? The big thing that's really tricky is that essentially some of the records that you'll be obtaining from these doctors are not going to be linear with the same type of terminology standards, although the tests will be helpful, that are used by American doctors. So there's a slight disadvantage in that regard as well. Mark said $10 tip. Also, I get TDIU, TMP. Oh, so you're TDIU 100%, TMP 100%. That's awesome. So bottom line is, which means you're a VA guy. Oh, there's the VA update. My records are with the VA. Okay, so here's the thing. Most VA people who only have VA records are getting significant amounts of denials. And that's because this is actually, I'm glad you brought this up. This is like point on point. This is a perfect lineup. VA facilities and their medical review and the terminology they use is total crap for what the SSA is looking for from what the doctors are saying in the RFC format, residual functional capacity format. It just, they don't translate well. Similarly, records from Colombia are not going to translate well. You have to have somewhere in there, meaning you come back to the United States, actual USA doctors giving opinions to help bolster your claim. A lot of VA guys, and I get where they're coming from, are like, I'm disabled from the VA. Therefore, the federal government says I'm disabled. I'm cool beans. Give me my SSDI check. I'm good to go. And the problem is that all changed under Commissioner Saul, where there was a significant, forceful, and aggressive change where they were saying, look, we're not just going to let judges, administrative law judges, de facto decide, AODs, alleged onset dates, or claims of disability because they were 100% TDIU or 100% PNT from the VA. And so that set that standard, that set that transitional momentum where the VA people were no longer getting the preferential treatment. Now, VA benefits are, and I know I'm going to say this, and there's going to be some VA guys who are like, I had to fight for years. And I get it. I totally get it. But VA benefits, to get the 100%, well, the 90%, the 90% and then attachment, you know how that works. They're easier with the standards of severity compared to what the SSA is now. That wasn't how it was going back to basically like 2016, 2017 is where that switch started to happen. 2015, it was harder to get VA benefits than it was disability benefits. 2013, 2012, man, SSA benefits were way easier to get than VA benefits. There's been this swap. And so now, and they purposely changed it, having that, I'm 100% disabled through the VA, all that stuff, that is not in itself de facto or even extremely persuasive, because they want to see other types of doctors. So what I would say is, if you want, I see Leanne. Leanne, by the way, is a commenting person, has been with this channel since there were caves, and I would report literally from a cave. And I had this cute little rock door that I would move aside, and then I'd start the channel. But anyway, so howdy, Leanne. So Mark, what I would say is, yeah, go to Columbia, totally fine. Just make sure you pop back a couple of times to do some doctor appointments here. Or, I mean, if somehow magically happens, you have crisis medical treatment with the emergency rooms, here, and then go back to Columbia, whatever, that would be the most helpful for your situation. But bottom line is, having Colombian doctors and VA records, that's not a great mix for having the best shot of being found disabled through the SSA. Now, your conditions might be super, super horrible, right? You might be amputated one whole leg, half your hip, both hands are gone, both feet. Well, but you're typing well, so both hands are there for the most part, unless you're talk to typing. But point is, it might be a situation where your impairments are super duper bad, right? They're super duper severe or potentially extreme. In that case, there's not much of a fight. You should be okay. But if you're like most people, you want to have an advantage. Because remember, you look at the statistics of this whole thing, the SSA consistently has a certain amount of approvals and a certain amount of denials. Now, let me ask you this question. If a federal agency consistently at each stage has a certain amount of approvals and a certain amount of denials, and, America has, more of these individuals getting sick, or more veterans coming out of that war that are injured, the percentages of approval shouldn't be consistent. They should be going up and down based on what these occurrences are, that make people sick, or this or that. I mean, when there's all this COVID, the numbers should be going up and down more. There should be more of a swing, but there's not. So if the percentages stay very close to the same numbers each year, what does that tell you about population control of those who apply for disability benefits? Just saying. All right, now we're going to go to the caller. Good sir, remember to use a fake name. What is your legal question?
Okay, my name is Chuck, and good evening to you. I just have a question. I've been on SSI since 2018, and I moved from Las Vegas to North Dakota, and I was getting EBT also down there in Medicaid, and also I applied and got it up here. Mm-hmm. On December 4th, they had a hearing for me, review hearing. They determined that my living conditions or income had changed, which it had not, other than the fact that I moved from point A to point B. But they knocked me down 1/3 of my check, which I was only getting 99 something. So now it's like 609. And I went in and I filed an appeal. Then they told me that since I turned 62 in December, that I have to go on retirement instead of SSI. And my question is does that sound fair? I mean, it seems like every time I talk to him, I get another bad review, because I went in and when I filed the appeal, then they knocked me down they said I owed back payments of $94 a month. So they're going to attach that on me too now. So, but I mean, nothing has changed other than my location in states. Is there a difference like within states? Are they trying to say that my EBT is affecting my SSI, or should I go in retirement instead? I don't know. I don't know what to do.
There's so many questions there. All right, let me try and all right. So first thing, sounds like the 1/3 reduction rule is applying to you. They also call it the in-kind support maintenance rule, where you move from point A to point B, and they said, okay, somebody's maybe giving you some food, somebody's giving you some shelter, somebody's giving you something to go ahead and basically bolster your living. Therefore, they're reducing your benefits by 1/3. That's what takes you from the 900 and change basically down to the 600 and change. You will be forced as an SSI person to convert over to retirement at 62. No matter what. So you're going to have to do that. They're going to send you over there. If you don't have retirement as an option, you stay on SSI, and you basically go from SSI as a disabled person to an SSI person who is on old age SSI. Ultimately, with basically this whole situation, I'm sorry, what was the last question? There were a lot of questions. What was the last one?
Well, was forced on SSI, I mean, into retirement, but is there like the EBT, is that different between states? Like is Nevada, the state covers that or something, and then now they're deducting it out of my SSI here, or I don't know.
So here's the thing. I think, okay, so each state for SSI people has a different amount of state supplemental. Well, not each state. Some states don't do this at all. More Democrat-oriented states, more blue chip states, give SSI people, because the cost of living there is so much higher, a supplemental amount, and then they do the math based off of that supplemental amount as to how much food stamps they're going to give the person, what additional benefits they're going to give the person, etc. So if you move to a blue chip state, right, New Jersey, California, whatever, there's that state supplemental where you can get more benefits. The classic red chip states, they don't have that stuff. Because most of these red states, the cost of living is relatively lower. And what happens in society, of course, is that the more cities and civilization that you build up and build up and build up and build up, the more cities you have, the more Democrat the state leans, and the cost of living drastically goes up in that state, which then causes SSI people to just not have basically enough money to be able to survive. Ergo, they get a higher state supplemental on top of their federal benefits.
Okay, I got another, just a quick one. If I go on retirement, are they still going to use those same deductions at 1/3 off or whatever because of?
No. That's an SSI thing.
My income off?
No. That's an SSI thing. You go on retirement. There's no. I mean, remember though, if you like go and work, they're going to tax you. Like there's other restrictions. Like in 1983, they effed over the retired people. But the point is, yeah, there's other stuff, but that restriction, that no longer affects you. Like the resource limit no longer affects you, but the tax the hell out of your retirement benefits. If you earn more money, then you'll start getting hit with that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm going to do no work, no exercise orders from the doctor. So
Gotcha.
Great. Do you recommend I run this by a local attorney or something, or do you think it's something I can handle on my own? Because I know you only get one shot at it.
Well, what's the one shot? Is it a transition from SSI to retirement, or what's the one shot?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you have no choice. They're gonna
it.
automatically do that to you. Like when you're on SSI, you don't have a choice. They will automatically transition you from SSI Title 16 benefits to Title 2 retirement benefits. Like you won't even have a choice in it. It's just automatic.
Okay. Well, that took a load off. I feel better talking to you, and I really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sounds good, sir. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll catch you later, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, I don't see another question in this in the chat section, so I'm going to go to the next call. Here we go. And we're clicking the buttons. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. We're going to do about 5 to 7 minute phone call. What is your legal question?
I hear you talk about many different types of disabilities, but I've never heard you speak of a stroke.
So the phone cut out there. What was it again? Which program?
I said I've heard you speak of many disabilities.
Okay.
But I've never heard you speak to anyone or about people that have a stroke.
Oh, I do. I've done stroke videos. Well, I've done over like 4,000 videos, so it's in there. What would you like to know about it? Yeah.
Well, you keep talking about, how difficult it is these days to get approved for it. When I had my stroke, I ended up in a parking lot of a hospital, and they came and got me in a wheelchair, and I woke up 3 days later and said, hey, you had a stroke. And then in a day or two, they sent me to physical rehab. I was there for a full month. When I got out on December 1st of 2016, stayed with a friend, and in early January said, why don't you apply for disability? I said, I don't know. So I did. And they sent me a letter saying, well, we can't give you disability right now, but how would you like your Social Security income? I said, sure. So it was like $980. And 5 months later, boom, I got my disability added on to it.
Okay.
Is that strange or what?
Well, I mean,
I'm,
yeah. Okay. So here's my first thought. You were applied for both programs. What was your age when you had the stroke?
62.
Yeah. So you're 62. Somewhere somebody applied you for both programs. Your stroke must have been severe enough for them to go ahead and guys, keep in mind that the people that are calling in right now, you have to wait for me to get towards the end of this call and then start calling in. So with your stroke, okay, so here's what happens with stroke people. There's a larger percentage of people who have a stroke that then, over a 3-month period show the maximum capacity of how much they're going to improve. And when they do that, the reality of the SSA is they like to wait a certain amount of time to see what their improvement will ultimately be. And so the idea is that, after 3 months, exactly where their improvement's going to be. And basically they go from there and, maybe they can go back to work. Maybe they can do a lesser job that's not as difficult, etc. Your stroke was probably one of the situations where you had severe bodily limitation, right? You had difficulty with bathroom, making food, using your arms, difficulty with walking, slurred speech, all that kind of jazz. So as a result of that, you could have, had a much more severe reaction that lasted throughout that, 3-month, see how you're going to be doing time. And then as a result of that, they could have said, okay, cool, yada, yada. Now, 5 minutes later or 5 days later, that is very, very rare in the modern day. They used to do that stuff, 10 years ago. When were you found, how many years ago were you found retired and then 5 days or whatever it was later found disabled?
I had a stroke on October 26th of 2016.
Oh, okay, yeah. So basically, yeah, in that era, the pre-Commissioner Saul era, they still had more of those local FO approvals, which is basically where the evidence was strong enough. You give it to the local FO officer, they send it up for a quick quality review, and then boom, you're found disabled. So yeah, in those days, you still had those. You just don't have those nowadays as much. They're very, very rare.
I see. Mm-hmm. Well, and could I possibly be in their sites for one of these CDR things or whatever?
Well, what's your current age?
I'm 69.
Yeah, no. You're on retirement now. You're 100% retirement at this point.
Plus disability.
No, you're not on disability. You're only on retirement.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, call them up. You'll when they tell you about the RSDI program, you're only on the retirement. You're not on the SSDI program anymore.
I see. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thanks, Wilson. I won't waste any more of your time. I was just curious.
Perfect. Good, sir. Sounds good. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Yeah, I got your mother on my TV right now, although it's frozen. Hey, how do I donate?
I think there's a button at the bottom of the screen, or if you Google Walter Hnot student loans, I think there's a GoFundMe too, which basically helps me with my student loans. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, good sir.
Check it out, bro.
Thank you, good sir. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let me check the section over here to see if there's a question in here. John Dyer, I'm a Terry case cancer applicant in Oklahoma. I was recently approved for SSDI, but they are still pending my SSI. I was forced to leave work and go on FMLA due to vision issues. Is this normal? Yeah. Terry, just so you guys know, is terminal illness. These are the people who, are likely to die within a set time clock period. They fall within the I-2-1-40 section. Actually, I'll give you the exact, I'll tell you the exact one real quick. Hold on. Let me answer this person real quick. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. I'm answering one of the chat section areas. Go ahead and mute your computer on your end, and then we'll get to your call shortly. Just 1 second. I'm just answering this person in the chat section. You got it. Perfect. So let's see. We're going to put in the statute here. I-40. I-2-1-40. I think it's the first one. Hold on. Let me see. Critical claim. Yeah, it's first one. So it's subsection A1. So I-2-1-40 subsection A1 is basically your Terry. I'll just read to you guys what it is so you know what it is going into the future. Terminal illness. Terry claims the case is designated critical when the claimant's illness is alleged or identified as terminal, untreatable, and irreversible and expected to end in death. Terry cases are identified by the case characteristics Terry in the case processing and management system, the CPMS, or Terry flag in the hearings and appeals case processing system, HACPS, and a Terry case flag, form SSA 2200, is a paper case or an electronic case by the Terry flag in eView. It's literally just a little red flag at the top of the file. A Terry designation may be added at or before the hearing level. and Terry designation are monitored by the OHO regional office RO to ensure the case is expedited. For examples of Terry situations or more information on the situation, blah, blah, blah. Go look at this, yada, yada. All right. Anyways, point is element 2. 5 elements. Element 2, your impairment has to last 12 months, will have lasted 12 months, or be terminal. The terminal people at element 2 get the expedited. Tammy Dimsdale, thank you very, very, very much for the $10 donation. That's absolutely awesome. Very, very cool. Good night, Diana Fernandez. I see you there. I'll catch you later. But again, thank you, Tammy Dimsdale, for the $10 donation. So we do have somebody on the phone. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. We're going to do about 5 to 7 minutes. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, well, thank you. This is cameraman. You just said it about the 12 months or longer for disability.
Sure.
My question is, if I claim I'm disabled for like 22 months, but 11 months into that, I got my back injection, and it helped me for 5 weeks.
Okay.
Which took the pain level from like an 8 or a 9 down to a 1. Is Social Security going to claim, like, can they claim that because it helped me for the 5 weeks in between the 22 months, that I'm no longer disabled for the year time, even though it's been 22 months of the total time?
No. They can't do that. So here's the way it works. When people get like really better, like really, really better, and they're like working for like 5 or 6 months and things are going great, they might try to shoot for what's called a closed period. And a closed period is where, you'll claim, okay, I was disabled from this date to this date, but then after that, I was no longer disabled. So I'm seeking benefits during that period of time. But if we're talking about like 5 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4 months of improvement, and were you working during that time or no?
No. Last time I worked was December 24th of 2015. And then when I fell off the roof, that's when I hurt my back and everything else.
Okay.
And then, like 2019, I got shot in a drive-by, and then I haven't left my house basically since then.
Gotcha.
So, but that's the thing with that. And then the other video you were saying about people visiting your house, SSA, that's the other thing. I was like, I sent pictures to my attorney, like 10 plus pictures of like the mold that's grown on the dishes that hasn't been washed for months. Like I have 20 plus fly traps. There's like hundreds of flies on the traps and stuff. And then she's claimed that they can see that as a setup, as a scene, like setting the staging the thing. And I'm like, this is where I live. And then there's worse photos I sent her. But yeah, that was my thing about them, because I actually asked about that. They can come see how I live.
So
how bad it is.
One time I submitted photos of a claimant who was living in a destroyed trailer, and the question of, is it a set up scene, blah, 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 blah. Obviously dirty dishes is, easy to set up. A destroyed trailer where all their crap is outside, literally strewn all over the place, not as easy to set up. But point is, the SSA does not like to receive photos. The photos that they would have more of a preference for, but they do not require, are medical imaging photos. They will receive photos. Judges will take a look at them, but they won't always put them into the exhibit list. So just keep in mind, photos aren't always brought in. What they're really searching for, and I get the argument. You have dirty dishes because your impairments limit your ability to do at-home functional tasks. What they're really looking for as evidence for limitations with that is basically where your doctor says you're not able to do certain things, such as kneeling, stooping, crawling, lifting, pushing, pulling, these functional tasks, to be able to do those things, and then talking about in their analysis why they're giving you a diagnostic impression of this or that as a result of your inability to go ahead and clean dishes, unable to do this, etc. So the person you give the photos to bolster the likelihood of them being considered by the judge is the doctor, because you want the doctor to have the bullet points to use those to say, hey, this is the reality. If you can get the doctor to integrate the photos into the record, it gives them more validity.
Yeah, because I gave my service coordinator a couple of papers. It's the medical source statements of the claimant's ability to perform work-related physical activities. And the psychiatrist, the therapist, the PCP, and all my specialists they basically all said the same thing: is they don't like filling out paperwork for that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got to understand a lot of these professionals, medical doctors especially, specialists even more so, but specialists are more used to it because they're more pay to play. They don't like to have to fill out documents, and some of these documents require a lot of review and time to fill them out. So there is a bit of a pay to play game that goes on with getting documents filled out like that. So just realize, if you have a document that you want a specialist to go ahead and fill out, you should ask them what their price is to sit down and review it and complete it.
Okay. Yeah, because like when they were trying to have give me a cane, and then they were telling me how to use the hand that I got shot in, which I can't hold the cane for a long period of time.
Right.
So I never actually got the cane, but they were trying it out. And then, so I was using the other hand, but my shoulder wasn't able to hold me up while using the can.
Gotcha.
The cane. So, but yeah, real quick, I just had another question because I have a buddy of mine that he's 100% disabled for VA. And he doesn't have enough. He tried to file for SSDI, and he tried to file, but he doesn't have enough credits. But he was wondering if day trading would be able to, because if he makes the $7,000 a year for day trading, is that able to get credits for the SSDI?
Yeah, but remember, if he's on SSDI, like they're going to look at that as earned income, and some of those months he's going to violate the SGA. So, I mean, like day trading, people argue with me about this, but day trading is literally a job. If it's like you move stocks a little bit here and there, you get some unearned income out of it, it's unearned income. But day trading, you are in the business of everyday trading. So that's going to fall into the whole situation of, just to be fair, earned income. So he's got to be careful about the SGA limitation.
Oh, for the VA?
SSA, for the SSDI benefits. Does he already have SSDI benefits or no?
No, he only has 100% VA.
Oh man,
he's going for SSDI.
He's got to file immediately for SSDI.
Well, he was denied because he doesn't have enough work credits.
He waited too long. I tell all you VA people. I tell you all. So.
Well, that's right. But yeah, that's exactly what I was, because it took about 10 years for him to get the 100%. Yeah. It went to like 30%, then 40, then 50, then 70, then 100, whatever. But yeah, and then because I told him about your video that you said, basically, another caller said about, and you said about earning $7,000 to get your 4 credits a year. But I told him, I think I misunderstood your video when you said with the other caller, it was maybe it was example of for him, but you said about earning for 4 years, $7,000 for each year. So I don't know if he can do that, or does he have to earn for 10 years?
He really should call me so I can explain it to him. But the bottom line is, he needs to know what his date last assured is. See how many years back it is. You can get 4 quarters of coverage per year. He needs to be able to report income working for somebody that it attaches to, that shows those earnings having income coming in that is taxable to get him those 4 quarters of coverage per year. However far back his DLI is, his date last insured, will dictate how many quarters of coverage he needs to go ahead and re-get on the train for applying for SSDI benefits. So the kicker is, I'd need to know his DLI. So have him call the SSA for his DLI, and then have him call me. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. But yeah, I know he was telling his lawyer he wanted to file an appeal. I'm sorry, but he wanted to file an appeal because he wanted to claim the last 10 years while he was waiting to get his back pay. But the lawyer told him that if he does that, he can lose his 100% disabled with the VA if he does that to get his back.
It depends, because the VA has programs for you to try out work options. So if he's like 4 quarters of coverage away, it's not hard for somebody to go ahead and get $7,000 worth of earnings that is still within the VA programs for, trying something out. So is it a little bit more tricky? Then it requires some work, but the payoff is, he could get another $2,000 per month if he does it right. And that's material, so yeah.
I appreciate it. I thank you very much, and you have a good day. I'll continue watching.
You as well, good sir. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so I'm going to answer another question from the live chat. Howdy, Linda. Thank you for the super chat. Love the NES controller. Let me just get this person who's calling in real quick. Hi, I'm going to be answering a question from the chat section, and then I will get directly to your phone call. So just hang out on the phone. I'll catch up with you shortly. 1 second. Okay, let's see what we got for questions. We go over here. Okay, Sherry Wilkes, I have a question for you. Will I receive the same amount for retirement as I do my SSDI? New sub of your channel and content. Thank you. So it'll be close. It's not always the exact same amount. Sometimes retirement's a little bit more, but it's usually a very similar amount. So just, when you're making financial plans, imagine it's the same amount and you'll be safe. Let's see if there's any additional questions. Aren't you all tired of being controlled by the government? Every single day. Next question. I do, but I was blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me see. Any additional questions? No, I don't see them. Okay, cool. We're going to go to this caller. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question?
Yes, hello?
Howdy.
Oh, yes, hello. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
My question is, I was filed for SSDI. I was denied last month, and I retained an attorney last week. He said he could take 12 to 18 months for the appeal process. In the meantime, my divorce will be finalized next month.
Okay.
Would I be able to apply for SSI? I'm new to this, so I apologize.
Oh, okay.
What would be the process for SSI while the appeal process is pending?
It's the same legal standard for medical review. So severity standard for how severe you are, same as SSDI benefits. I'm guessing you couldn't file for SSI before because the spouse had too much in earnings or too much assets as part of the deeming process. Cool. So what I would say is this. I mean, once that divorce is going through and you're good to go, the paperwork's filed, etc. Yes, you can absolutely attach and file an 8,000 BK with the local FO, the field office. With that said, what is your date last insured?
Oh, that was in February of 2021.
What is your filing date?
Oh, I'm sorry. April of 22. No, I'm sorry, 23.
What was the DLI again?
I'm sorry. What is that?
What is the DLI again? What was the DLI date?
I believe it was April 15th of 2023. They denied me December 7th.
So wait, what is your last date that you were insured for SSDI benefits?
I was. I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. I've never received the benefits, SSDI benefits.
But what was okay, so here's the deal. You've got to call and find out two things from the SSA. What is your date last insured? And what is your monthly amount? Because if your monthly amount is over $1,000 for SSDI benefits, then there's, then you can file for SSI benefits, but you want to shoot for the SSDI benefits. If your date last insured, and you said you filed in, I think, 2022, correct?
Actually, it was 2023, April of 2023.
All right. So if your DLI is in like the latter part of 2021, maybe. But if it's early 2021 or 2020, then you're going to be in a quarter of coverage problem. So you've got to figure out what your date last insured is, and hopefully it's in 2022 or forward.
Okay. I appreciate your call.
Yeah.
Or for answering my call. Thank you so much. And you're doing an awesome job, and I appreciate you.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Make sure you go ahead and basically mute the computer on your end. I'm going to go ahead and answer a question in the chat section real quick, and then we're going to return right back to this phone call. So give me 1 second, Rue, to answer a question in the chat section. Hold on. And let's see. I guess they hit the button. I have a question. When I'm applying for disability, when I am listing what I can't work, do I list my diagnosis and all the symptoms, or just my diagnosis from doctors? Well, okay, so where you can work and what you did with work is going to go on a 3369 SSA form, or the online form about where you worked, and basically what your doctors are and what they've done with you over the past couple of years is going to go on the SSA 3368 form or the online application form. So that should be split up. Like when you're talking about what medical treatment you've had, that goes on the SSA 3368 or the online filing. The SSA 3369 is what they use for your work history. So that's how that works. Okay, speaker, we are on live. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember, use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, am I radio check clear?
You are ready to check.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, green light. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, great. Oh my gosh, goodness, I've been trying to get a hold of you. I have been very educated by your. Anyways, you're wonderful. I don't have a particular question, but I have developed all of my mental illnesses, PTSD, bipolar disorder, manic depressive, depression, has accumulated into a point where I have what is called executive dysfunction.
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lottery you want to win.
Executive dysfunction.
Mhm.
Executive means you need to execute brushing your teeth,
Mhm.
and you see your toothbrush, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's my legal question.
Okay.
For the legal thing. I had my third appeal where my mother was willing to hire an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And we went before a disability judge who apparently didn't have any experience with mental health disabilities.
Wow. Okay.
And she also had a 17% approval
Ugh.
rate.
Ugh.
So yeah, we're waiting on that. She was gonna, my attorney was gonna retire, but she said, Becky, your case is so solid. I'm trying not to say swear words, but she said, your case is so solid, even if I retire and she doesn't approve you, I will take you in
to
front
appeals council
of the board.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
How long is this going to take? I've been without income. I gave so much to the world, and I've been without an income because of this dysfunction that my mental health started to do, which means you can't take care of yourself. And you can't function in a workplace. I can't function in a workplace, even though I have incredible skills in the back lobe of my brain, but they don't go to the frontal lobe of my brain. And then I just cannot work a job. So I haven't had an income. Everything is in storage units. I sleep in a corner of my mother's house. And I don't cook. I don't shop. I don't go outside. I just everything accumulated. And then now I'm on my third appeal of disability.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I'm 56 years old, and I am still worth so much to keep giving, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a purpose, and we're really split at the odds, seeing if this, what they call the evil judge, is going to approve. I haven't worked in about 5 years.
So help me out. Just give me one question from that, because there was a bit of a story there. Just one question. Go ahead. Yeah.
What's the question?
Yeah, it's the executive function disorder. But what was the one question you wanted me to answer? Was it like, why is this happening to you? What's going on with it? How long will it take throughout the process?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for centering that. That's part of my problem. Okay, the one question I wanted to ask is, if I get not approved at my third appeal, and the attorney wants to go before the Pennsylvania Social Security Board because she said my case is solid. It's like completely solid. So should we take it from the judge to the state board?
Okay, so real quick, are we talking about state-based disability benefits? Are we talking about railroad or sheriff or police-based disability attachment pension?
No, we're talking about
federal SSDI,
Social Security disability income.
Yeah, so then you wouldn't be going in front of the Pennsylvania board. You'd be going in front of Appeals Council, which is basically the group that has AAJs that reviews the administrative law judge. So that would take around 12 to 15 months to go through that adjudication.
Oh, holy cannoli.
It is a granola bar.
That's who she said. Oh, that's holy cannoli. But you know what she did? My attorney did say, which was really cool. She said that, Becky, she said, I want to retire, but your case is solid and you need this. And she said, I'll stick with you and I'll take you to some kind of board. So you just clarified the type of board that we're going to go through if I get not approved by the horrible judge.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so you're going to go to Appeals Council, and basically your attorney will write a brief specifying details. Now, what usually happens is that you'll either get a denial, approval, or the most common function, which is basically going ahead and getting a remand back to the administrative law judge with corrections from the AAJs to the ALJ to be fixed going forward. So, bottom line is,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Are you speaking about after this recent court decision? I haven't gotten it yet. They're still writing it.
Yeah. So if you get a denial, you will appeal to Appeals Council if there's grounds.
Okay.
Potentially could be remanded back to the judge, could be approved, could be denied, or remanded by the Appeals Council. Another option is to go ahead and appeal it upwards to district court at the federal level.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely options.
I absolutely will do that. I need to execute a life so that I can function.
Mm-hmm.
So I am steady, solid with 4 weekly providers in all different types of mental health care and support, but I have my bank account for the past 6 years has been $1.85 just to keep it open, and I'm sleeping on my mother's couch. I'm 56 years old.
That's a no bueno. That's a class 5 no bueno.
Yeah, and I have a history. I have accomplishments of history. I've been like, bam, bam, bam. It's just the mental health stuff all just came together and just took over. So I'm not going to let this get the last of the best of me, okay?
Yeah, no, that's a good phrase.
I'm going to keep watching you and watching your advice. It's been helpful. And horses and animals have taught me a lot of patience.
Mm-hmm.
I work with animals my whole life.
Okay.
They've taught me so much patience. But this, for your listeners and your watchers, this is the most incredible patience that you're going to have to endure and sit and wait. So
yeah.
Get a box of donuts.
Gotcha. Well,
no, seriously, dude, this is like the longest thing for an answer where you don't know which direction. You put your hands together and you take the right hand that way, you take the left hand that way. And that's how it is. The odds are split. You have no idea where your life is going to go until you get that judgment.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And you're great, Walter.
Thank you. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to do one more call because I'm kind of falling asleep, but I will catch you. Yeah, I'll catch you a little
Me
bit.
too.
Yeah.
Me too. Go ahead.
Excellent.
Go ahead,
Indeed.
Walty.
Thank you. Well, you
All
have a
right,
wonderful,
Walty.
yeah, you have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too. Give yourself a hug.
Will
You
do.
know that. Tell people that self-hugging releases endorphins.
Yeah, no, I
If
totally,
they feel,
yeah, no,
if they feel lonely,
yeah.
give themselves a self-hug.
Excellent. Well, okay. I tell you what, I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, and hopefully you'll get a fully favorable, and you won't have to keep going through an appeal process. All right.
What's up? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I'll keep up with you and keep watching you. I'm sorry that I can't give you any money.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. No
yeah,
worries.
but I keep sharing.
Excellent.
You're kicking it, dude. You're kicking it. You are so on it.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Yes.
Well,
All right, kiddo.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night. I'm going to listen to the rest of your show and hang up, okay?
Perfect. You have a wonderful night. I'll catch up with you later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Pat yourself on the back.
Will do. Will do. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. It is the last call of the night. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look to see if on the chat section we have anybody that asked a question. Let's see what we've got. I don't see any questions. Scrolling up a little bit, I still don't see any questions. Okay, so here's the deal. Just a quick reminder to everybody: if you're trying to call in now on Tuesday, I go live on Facebook usually around 8 or 8:30. And you can get in there and we can do a longer call on Facebook. So just go to Google Disability Resolution Facebook and it should pop right up. Tuesdays around 8:30 p.m. That's when I go live on Facebook, and there's not that many callers, so you can always call me then. All right, person that's on the phone, remember, use a fake name throughout this process. What is the legal question that I can help you with? Go ahead.
Is this Attorney Walter?
This is me. Howdy.
Hey, it's Ronnie. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm tired. How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, I appreciate you doing God's work and helping people, and definitely you're a resource to the community.
Yeah.
So I was approved for SSDI in the year 2000, right when I turned 18 years old. Very fortunate. Sailed right through under the easy rules. I've had these reviews over the years. I've beat every single one. And especially since I discovered your show on YouTube, I've gained invaluable advice on how to sail through the reviews, when they trip you up or send you to a doctor or try to take your benefits away, basically, and instill fear, which is what they do. Their goal is to take your benefits, and your goal is to prove you're disabled. So I appreciate you there. So what I'm doing is I'm using a CPN and a Delaware LLC to hide income for child support. Okay, and I've done that for about 15 years. And I'm also doing that for the income reporting for Social Security. So I'm able to work and earn above the limits, but it goes to a Delaware LLC and a CPN. My question for you, and I'm able to use my disability benefits for cruising and different recreational activities, Disneyland, stuff like that, more leisure. So thankfully I'm not dependent on it to survive. It's more just to leisure and fun money. My question for you is, can they ever tie a CPN in I know Delaware LLC is tax-free Delaware. You've heard tax-free Nevada. You can't prove who owns the LLC. I use a trust for the EIN number with the IRS, so it doesn't come back to my social or myself personally. I'm just a beneficiary of the trust. The CPN is very useful. It allows you to have excellent credit and that type of thing. Do stated income loans. My question is can they ever? I heard Biden wants to change the law to try to force in the next few years to prove the owners of these Delaware LLCs and these Nevada LLCs so they can claw back, tax shelter income and these millionaires and billionaires who use offshore accounts. I mean, you've heard of all sorts of exotic setups.
Yeah.
Could that ever impact me? And if so, what kind of plausible deniability would I have? Is there any way to beat that if it did come back to bite me?
So what you're really asking me is if they had a CDI unit that was able to discover who you were and what the funds were, and that the funds were, attributable to your earnings as an earned income, could the court, via the judge, pierce the veil of the corporation to access either the corporation or any medium you use to set it up, whether a trust or some other form, to claim that that is earned income that would be used against you? They are becoming more aggressive with piercing the veil to find funds. It used to be just a situation where they would have to have special reasoning, and they were less likely to pierce the veil because, they basically, it was not, they would even, focus on specific case citation to say why they didn't want to get into that. But they are piercing the veil of these corporations more and more and more because of the family court system. And the family court system, they're having to look for money that's being hidden so that spouses can't, attach to the money of the high earner. Because, high earners will marry super beautiful women. The super beautiful women will sue them. And then even if they have some sort of agreement, they'll have to come to, some sort of negotiated whatever, or they'll go through the court system and spend a heck of a lot of money. And, she'll or he'll seek basically from that, essentially, the other person will have to carry the other person's, attorney's fees and stuff like that. So you can see where it gets expensive relatively quickly for both sides. Yes, they can do that. Do they have a reason to do it to you? Not one that I'm hearing, but with that said, they haven't discovered what's going on yet. And, you already know, which I know you're using a voice program right now. You already know that realistically with this situation, it's only a matter of time until somebody connects dots. And remember, the thing that gets people in trouble is not usually the earnings of stuff. It's not usually that. What gets them in trouble is some weird little side fact that pops up on the radar. Like, somebody that buys something that's particularly expensive, somebody who, filed their taxes and said you gave them something as a gift. That's what gets people in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say is, yes, be aware. But remember, it's all how you go ahead and basically get this stuff outlined, if you will, as an asset. Because, remember, this money coming in, it could be unearned income. But if you're the one running the whole show, that's earned income.
No, it's definitely earned income. But I cycle through the CPN, which isn't my social security number, and I use the Delaware LLC. But yeah, it would definitely be considered earned income. I'm more concerned with potential criminal charges or blowback or something like that happening to where they can haul me in and I'm fixing 10 to 20 or something like that. That would be more of a concern. This whole thing kind of was to evade child support, my ex-wife.
Right.
And it's, I'm making about $15,000 to $20,000 a month through the LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So they would definitely take away my disability benefits for sure. 100%, they would take them away, but that would be the least of my problems.
That would be the least. Yeah, that would be. And then
Walter,
the one thing I would phrase to you is that when you go into a ticket to work, it gives you certain protections. Is it going to give you protections from a criminal filing for fraud? No. But that may be a ticket, if you will, into a transitional environment where you can start to clean up some of these income assets with how the system, attributes them to you.
I'm not too keen on that, though. My intention's not to work. It's to bank the disability money. And I mean, I'm honestly not trying to go to work or have anything like that,
Yeah.
I'm really not. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you being a resource. I'll keep
Yeah.
watching the videos and keep doing God's work. Thank you.
Thank you, good sir. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so we just did the final call of the night. Please remember, if I didn't get to your phone call, Tuesday, I will be live again. This video we're 59 minutes and 2 seconds, whatever it is. So the point is, I will be going live on Facebook on Tuesdays. You can always catch up with me then. I am super tired tonight. I am going to be going basically, ouch. I am going to be going to sleep very soon. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Please remember to hug yourself and your dogs, especially some of your cats. I mean, if you want to hug them, you can. Some of them, they swat at you. Anyways, I will catch you a little bit later. We will go from there. And thank you so much for making this channel so amazing. And please remember, do not drink too much tea. You will get too much caffeine boost and have a hard time falling asleep. I will catch you later and sleep well. Again, please remember to like. Actually, there's nothing over here to like. Please remember to like, subscribe, click the membership button if you want to support the channel. Go to Google, leave a review for Disability Resolution Law Firm. I will catch you later. You have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the members. Deb Carter, cameraman. We had Tammy Dimsdale. We had additional people. I just can't scroll up fast enough. Thank you so much, April, as well, for being a part of this channel and supporting it. I will catch you guys a little bit later, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.